This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hi guys, and welcome to Piano and Keyboard Artist, where we discuss the artists related to pianos, keyboards, and synthesizers. And continuing with my Depeche Mode album review series, this is Violator, Part 3. My friend, welcome back to the most in-depth Depeche Mode album review series ever conducted by an independent YouTuber, with interviews with original producers, people involved in the production, and more. If you've not seen parts 1 and 2, make sure you go and watch them before you come back to this one. And if you have seen parts 1 and 2, grab your drink and let's jump into this. Today we're going to cover the lyrics and the songs and try and interpret what the lyrics may or may not mean. Let me take you on a trip around the world and back, and you won't have to move, you just sit still. There's a little bit of submission there. Remember, these are my interpretations, and I'm getting new insights as I read them now. What I mean by that is it's a little bit like Behind the Wheel, where it's like, my little girl, drive anywhere, I don't care, tonight I'm in the hands of fate. That's handing yourself to the little girl, you take control, my lover, I'm just the passenger tonight. But in the sense of world in my eyes, let me take you around the world and back. Literally, once again, the literal meaning to this is, let's get in a plane, let's get on a boat, let's do skydiving, let's go see the world. That's the literal sense, like travel, good advert for a travel agency, I suppose. But then the other side to that is whatever you want it to be, and you will read into it whatever it is based on your personal perception and life experience. So let me take you on a trip around the world and back. That could be drugs, and you won't have to move. You just sit still. The literal meaning being he's going to take her around the world. He's a gentleman. Don't move. I'm a gentleman. I'll do everything for you. But the other side to this, or the depending on the way you want to see it, the dark side would be around the world and back, and you won't have to move. You just sit still. That could mean, and once again, I'm just speculating on things I've heard and the way I read into it, and that could be I'm going to take your virginity and I'm in control. I really think that what Martin was meaning with this is, and I cannot speak for him, but I Martin being the kinky bastard that we say he is, there's definitely a sexual angle on everything on this album. I mean, this album is so to do with obsession, addiction, drugs, alcohol, and all those things that we do to make life better, but they're not good for our morals and our higher self and all those things. A bit like Strangelove, I give in to sin because you need to make this life livable, so to speak. Now let your mind do the walking and let my body do the talking. Nice line. Let me show you the world in my eyes. It's kind of like, come with me, I'll show you what's in my mind, baby. Literally or figuratively, let's do drugs together. Now let my body do the moving and let my hands do the soothing. Let me show you the world in my eyes. And then it gets to that's all there is. Nothing more than you can feel now. That's all there is. I don't want to spell this out, but she's probably got her hands in his pants, and that's all there is. Nothing more than you can feel now. Nothing more than you can touch now, which it says later on. Are you disappointed or are you delighted? Could mean that I'm turning into Martin. Martin, you kinky bastard! Coming to the second verse. Let me put you on a ship on a long, long trip. Your lips close to my lips. All the islands in the ocean, all the heavens in the motion. Let me show you the world in my eyes. Martin has a great way of saying things in a non-cliche kind of way. There's nothing pretentious about his lyrics. He doesn't use words and terminology that you need to sort of go and look it up in a dictionary. He uses very sort of plain conversational language, real sort of layman's language. But the way he phrases things is very clever. He's very good at saying something in a way that has never been said before. And Martin, you are still my guru, brother. You really are. Okay, on to Sweetest Perfection. The sweetest perfection to call my own. The slightest correction couldn't finally hone. The popular opinion on this song is really about drugs, perfection, wanting perfection, wanting things to be so perfect, and then kind of killing yourself in the process, aspiring to perfectionism that is unrealistic. The sweetest injection of any kind. Now, that could be an injection of love or lust or whatever. But once again, there is a double meaning here. That could literally mean an injection. So once again, I'm not telling you what it means. I'm just telling you what I think it could mean. And it's funny that as I'm reading it now, I'm getting new insights that I never had before. So it is fascinating. Once again, it really depends on you as the listener and your life experience. I stop and I stare too much, afraid that I care too much, and I hardly dare to touch, for fear that the spell may be broken. Once again, it could be he's gotten with someone that he feels is too good for him, and he knows he's gonna stuff it up and lose her. When I need a drug in me, and it brings out the thug in me, feel something tugging me, then I want the real thing, not tokens. That's quite blatant if you read it in the sort of drug sense. When I need a drug in me and it brings out the thug in me, that could be a drink, that could be some kind of recreational drug. I want the real thing, not tokens. Give me the real thing. Yeah, give me Viagra, none of that blue herbal stuff, baby. It comes back onto the chorus again, and then the second verse. The things you'd expect to be having effect on me pass undetectedly, but everything knows what has got me, takes me completely, touches so sweetly, reaches so deeply. I know that nothing can stop me. It's almost, it could be getting, I've seen this with people when they get so high on drugs and stuff, reaches so deeply. I know that nothing can stop me. You get so high on drugs, you end up running up to the top of a building and like hanging over the side because you believe you can fly. I've seen this firsthand, and it's really bloody scary. So, I mean, Sweetest Perfection, the literal sense there is kind of, to me, wanting something perfect and trying to hold on to it, and being idealistic to a point that it's unrealistic. And then, of course, there's the metaphorical side to it, I believe, which is the drugs. But having said that, the metaphorical side to this could be drugs, but they are literally stated here. When I need a drug in me, and it brings out the thug in me. However, that doesn't necessarily mean a drug. A drug could be your addiction with someone. Depending on what your drug is, your drug could be chocolate, like mine is, or it could be sex. So it's really, once again, based on your interpretation of the song. Personal Jesus, your own personal Jesus. This song was inspired by a book that Martin Gore read about. It was written by Priscilla Presley. It was called Elvis and Me, and it was basically a book about how she met Elvis. The marriage, the struggles, the divorce, and everything. So their life story, really. I believe the book was published in 1985, and once again, this just shows Martin's ability to read something and just create something brilliant from that. And the whole idea of a personal Jesus, you can imagine Elvis Presley being like a Jesus, like a real life Jesus kind of thing. And he was kind of like her Jesus, he was like, it's quite blasphemous. I remember because, I was brought up really religiously, and my parents didn't approve of me listening to this because it was, there is only Jesus who is the Son of God. You cannot call someone else a Jesus. So it is very blasphemous. It's not as taboo now as it was in those days. But Martin's idea of you will, I'll be your personal Jesus. I'll be your savior. I will, confess your sins to me and stuff. So it's very blasphemous on a religious, if you're a Christian, you'll find that quite blasphemous. But it is very true the way people, especially we see it now in celebrity culture, how people idealize other human beings. I mean, you just cannot believe how some people will just put other people up on a pedestal. And it's very dangerous because if we look at like the case of Elvis Presley, he may have been a god to some of us, but we see this in so many cases, like with Elvis or Prince or David Bowie, Freddie Mercury, Kurt Cobain. They're mortal and they die. And this song does actually, I suppose, not highlight, but it does make you think about the dangers of actually not building your life around someone, but kind of making them your Messiah, so to speak, making them your God and your Savior. And that's really what personal Jesus is all about. Just praising and putting someone above all others and essentially making them a God. Reach out and touch faith. As I said, it's all there to see in the lyrics. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there. I'll be your Jesus, baby. Feeling unknown and you're all alone, flesh and bone by the telephone. Lift up the receiver, I'll make you a believer. This is great sort of writing. It's so figurative, but it's so clever. It's so slick. It's so sexy. Take second best, put me to the test. Things in your chest, you need to confess. I will deliver, I'm forgiver. Very, very blasphemous, in a sort of religious way, but very sexy. And, that's always the thing with sex appeal. Often the things that are the darkest and the most taboo are the things that we're most attracted to. And if you're a Depeche Mode fan, you will know exactly what I mean by that. I will deliver, I'm a forgiver. I mean, that is so arrogant. It's like, yeah, baby. You're like a pimp. You're like a Snoop Doggy Dog. I mean, so those are the lyrics, really. And it's, the reach out and touch faith, your own personal Jesus. That's all there is to the song, really. It's the fact that you putting yourself up to be someone's Messiah or Savior, and they are indeed putting you up as their Savior and their Messiah. And there is a hidden meaning behind this, which is don't do it. Don't put someone on that level. Halo. What a song. Halo, I think, was probably, I wouldn't say it's an album track, but it's quite funny because a lot of people, since I've started this album review series, have been commenting on how much they love Halo and it's their favorite song, on this album. And indeed, there are no album tracks on this album because everything's just a star. Another story which we'll cover in a lot more detail in subsequent episodes. You wear guilt like shackles on your feet, like a halo in reverse. And I love it when it gets to the like a halo in reverse. Boom, 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 boom. And it really goes down. The music really goes to a downbeat part as soon as he says halo. I can feel the discomfort in your seat and in your head it's worse. I mean, this song, once again, what's the interpretation of this? It's pain. You wear guilt. I can see through your guilt. I can see the pain. It's almost like you're wearing your pain. You're trying to hide it, but I can see right through it. That is an interpretation. The discomfort in your seat and in your head, it's worse. So it's kind of like this person is in such pain or discomfort or guilt, and they try to hide it so much, and they've been good at hiding it, but now it's starting to show. I can feel the discomfort in your seat. I mean, you can sit next to them and you can feel, they might be fidgety or rickety or rattling or, whatever. But that despite the fact that they're trying to hide this pain and, they start, their mask is starting to drop. And although you can see they are uncomfortable, for a fact that in their head, it's even worse. That's the literal sense, I suppose. And once again, I at the end of this video, I'm going to ask you what your interpretations are. There's a pain, a famine in your heart, an aching to be free. This is just the story of humanity. There are so many interpretations to that. Can't you see all love's luxuries are here for you and me? Once again, that could also mean that you're so wrapped up in your dissatisfaction with life, you're not seeing the beautiful things around you, and you're being ungrateful. That is a view. and a possibility as well. And when our worlds, they fall apart, when the walls come tumbling in, though we may deserve it, it will be worth it. Once again, that could mean that this person is very bad for you, or you're very bad for them, or you're just very bad for each other. You're so bad for each other, but you're so right for each other. You shouldn't really be together, but you're better off not being together. But you two being together, it's just going to end in tears, but you still feel it's worth it for now. I know it's only for now. Once again, these are just my interpretations. Martin's not spelling it out here. And this is the great thing about this. I've seen people have heated debates, regarding song lyrics. And I'm just like, guys, having a heated debate it's like watching it's like watching a Republican and a Democrat, trying to, see reason or see eye to eye. It's just, you have your views and you have your views. And this is why I think especially Depeche Mode's lyrics are so, they're not cryptic. As I said, they're very literal, but the meanings in this could be so, widely interpreted, and it really depends on you. And I'm sure Martin has a big smile on his face when he sees people describing the lyrics. He might just go, "Oh, I didn't mean anything. I was just writing them." Now, I'm sure Martin has a meaning to it. Anyway, back on topic. Bring your chains, your lips of tragedy, and fall into my arms. I mean, that's so dramatic. Remember, when we do the next episodes in the series, I'm going to be breaking down each song. So it's going to be one episode per song. So it's going to go on for quite long, and we're going to go into a lot of detail. But I love the harmonies on this, the three-part harmony on this Halo. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. When the walls come tumbling in, though we may deserve it, it will be worth it. So yeah, that's really what I feel that song's about. Just, we're bad for each other, but we shouldn't be together, but we're going to stay together. And, if it all falls apart, it'll still be worth it. Very dark, very, very dark. Before we carry on with this, I just want to say thank you very much to our sponsor who's helping us keep the lights on. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Guys, I will never, ever endorse or get behind or support any product or service that I do not use myself. I've been using Skillshare for a while now to brush up on my video editing skills, and I'm very happy to say, hopefully you'll be able to see the difference in my video quality. I've also recommended Skillshare to quite a few of my students because there's some great tutorials there if you're learning anything really. And as far as my community are concerned, there are great tutorials there on music production. The website is slick, simple, and easy to use. You can simply search what you're looking for. And for less than $10 a month, you can really up your skills in these times where we have a lot more time on our hands. To make this offer even more enticing and fair to you, the guys from Skillshare have provided a link which you can click in the description below. And the first 1,000 of my subscribers that click on that link will all receive a free trial to Skillshare. So you've got nothing to lose and so much to gain. So go and check it out. It's a great platform. And let's jump back into the video. Waiting for the Night. What a song. Once again, I see two meanings to this. There's a literal meaning and a figurative meaning. The literal meaning, like Martin said in another song, I'm shying from the light. I've always loved the night. But that's another song. This could just be the literal sense being, I'm waiting for the night to fall. I know that it will save us all when everything is bearable and they're in the still. This is a great song to listen to when you're by yourself and you're just looking at the stars. And I know friends who've taken a lot of drugs while listening to this, and they say, "Yo, man, you gotta do some of this stuff when you listen to this, dude. Oh, fucking hell." But anyway, so the literal sense that is the night, the serenity and the calmness of the dark and the star. There is a star in the sky. Just being alone and that is the literal sense. Just the calmness and the serenity and the feeling of oneness of being away from people and just being out in the dark when it's calm. And so that's the kind of the way it's literally written. There is another interpretation of that, which I think, and some of you have said this as well, and that is death. And that's the depressing side to it. I'm waiting for the night to fall. I know that it will save us all. When everything's dark, it keeps us from the stark reality. Now, once again, I'm sure Martin has his reasons, but I'm sure Martin sometimes watches idiots like me reading these lyrics, and he's probably thinking, Dude, you're really overthinking that. No, he probably does. And, you know, he, as I say, he probably has a meaning. But the funny thing is, I do think that maybe we, the fans, you know, get deeper into it than he, the artist himself. And, you know, and we go beyond the intention that he had. But anyway, this could be someone waiting to die. Keeps us from the stark reality. I'm waiting for the night to fall when everything is bearable, and there in the still all that you feel is tranquility. There is a star in the sky, guiding my way with its light, and in the glow of the moon, know my deliverance will come soon. So that could be like the angel of death coming to see you. People who've had near-death experiences will often talk about how, you get these people who've died and come back, and they will talk about seeing a light and someone that they knew that had died, coming to, bring them through the abyss onto the other side. So this is a possible interpretation. There is a star in the sky guiding my way with its light, and in the glow of the moon, know my deliverance will come soon. I'm waiting for the night to fall. I know that it will save us all when everything's dark, keeps us from the stark reality. And then there is a sound in the calm. Someone is coming to harm. I press my hands to my ears. It's easier here just to forget fear. And when I squinted, the world seemed rose-tinted. Angels appeared to descend. To my surprise, with half-closed eyes, things looked even better than when they were open. And I'm getting a bit of a chill here because this is just so beautifully written. This is one of the songs that I believe can have a lot of different meanings. But the literal sense is really just, the dark and the calmness of and the serenity of the night. When everything's dark, keeps us from the stark reality. It could also be about denial. With half-closed eyes, things looked even better than when they were open, when I squinted. So, who knows? But I'd love to hear your opinions on that in the video afterwards. Enjoy the silence. True. The biggest hit, well, we're talking about Depeche Mode, so we don't usually use the word hit when we're talking about Depeche Mode. But yeah, Enjoy the Silence is definitely probably their most popular song, because it did kind of cross over into the mainstream, and even people who are not Depeche Mode fans will like that. That's why for Depeche Mode, if someone ever says to you, if you ask someone, are you a Depeche Mode fan? They go, yeah, and they say, Enjoy the Silence is my favorite song. They're probably not a fan. Although I love Enjoy the Silence, a Depeche Mode fan will usually say something obscure like, Here is the house, or something like that. Anyway, but that's not why you called. The meaning behind Enjoy the Silence, quite literal once again, but of course we can talk about other meanings. Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little world, painful to me, pierced right through me. Can't you understand, oh my little girl? All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Words are very unnecessary, they can only do harm. This is brilliantly and beautifully poetic. But there's no sort of complicated meaning to this. Of course, we can see more into it. But I think also this song, dare I say, had a more sort of mainstream familiarity to it. And that's probably, that this is why a lot of people who are not Depeche Mode fans would like it. And the lyrics too are probably easier, for most people to understand. Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little world. This really just, the sort of gist of the song is, shut up, I want to hold you, don't say anything. Words are very unnecessary, they can only do harm. And when he goes on to say, vows are spoken to be broken, feelings are intense, words are trivial, pleasures remain, so does the pain, words are meaningless and forgettable. That's just, there is just, every line here is so true. Vows are spoken to be broken, do you swear to take this woman to heaven to hold for the rest of your life till death do you part? Vows are spoken to be broken. You made that vow, but then you go and cheat on her, or she cheats on you. Feelings are intense. Words are trivial. Words are trivial because someone can say to you, I love you, and they can either mean it or not mean it. But the way to say it is still the same. I love you. So there is no bigger thing to say to someone than I love you, but you know, you can say that and still cheat on them. So words are trivial. Pleasures remain, so does the pain. I mean, straightforward. Words are meaningless and forgettable. All I ever wanted. So that's really just shut up, don't talk. I just want to hold you, baby. But yeah, I'd love to know what your interpretation is of that song. Policy of Truth. Now, this song I've loved. Well, I love all the songs in this album because I'm such a fanboy. You had something to hide. Should have hidden it, shouldn't you? Now you're not satisfied with what you're being put through. This song is often, the lyrics to this song has often been something I've pondered on a lot, you know, coming from the way I was brought up and everything, you know, to be a good human being and to be a good guy. And I'd like to think I'm still a good guy. But there are times that you told the truth because it was the right thing to do. And then it just ended up getting you into a lot of trouble. It's a little bit like, it's the same as get the balance right. Compromise and sometimes lie. So this song sort of highlights the reality of life. You know, we have all these virtues of, you know, needing to be a good person and honest and virtuous and all these things. But the truth is that if you're too honest, you'll get fucked over. And that's the sad thing. So that's really what the meaning behind the song is. This song has a very sort of, I don't want to say a literal meaning, but it's one of the songs when you listen to the lyrics, you go, oh, okay, it's about, you know, kind of not being a bad person, but kind of, you know, taking the smooth with the rough, little 15, but just playing the game and not being too honest. I mean, think of yourself. How many times have you sometimes thought, okay, I can get away with a lie. So let me tell a lie and I'll probably get away with it, but let me do the right thing and be honest. Well, then guess what? You're honest and it comes and bites you in the ass and you go, fuck that. I'm not going to do that again. Never again is what you swore the time before. So that's really what it is. It's about not being too honest, but just kind of playing the game and walking that, you know, that fine line, which is life. You had something to hide, should have hidden it, shouldn't you? Now you're not satisfied with what you're being put through. Once again, shouldn't have told them, shouldn't have done that, because now you're not satisfied with what you're being put through. It's just time to pay the price for not listening to advice, deciding in your youth on the policy of truth. So this is almost like he's talking to a younger person. Well, what's the problem, my friend? Well, I told the truth and this is happening. Well, now you're paying the price for not taking my advice. I don't want to take your advice. I want to be an honest person. Well, you've got to pay the price now. And, you know, and that is the price you pay for the policy of truth. This is brilliant, man. Things could be so different now. It used to be so civilized. You will always wonder how it could have been if you'd only lied. I mean, that's literally straight between the eyes. It's too late to change events. It's time to face the consequence for delivering the proof in the policy of truth. Now you're standing there tongue-tied. You'd better learn your lesson well. Hide what you have to hide and tell what you have to tell. You'll see your problems multiply if you continually decide to faithfully pursue the policy of truth. In other words, compromise, sometimes lie, live the life, be a good guy, but don't be too good. Be a good girl, don't be too good. You can lie or you can tell the truth, but remember, there is a price for being too honest. I can relate to this because that has happened to me a lot, and that is why this song, Policy of Truth, is one of the songs I can relate to the most on this album. Blue Dress. Oh, what a song. Put it on. And quite literal, put it on and don't say a word. Put it on, the one that I prefer. Put it on and stand before my eyes. Put it on. Please don't question why. Apparently, the idea behind the song is just watching a beautiful girl put a dress on, and you know she's putting this blue dress on, and because when you learn, you'll know what makes the world turn. Something so simple, something so trivial makes me a happy man, can't you understand? Say you believe, just how easy it is to please me, because when you learn, you'll know what makes the world turn. Notice I'm not reading it, and I do not have an auto cue here. This is so drummed into my head. And it's not impressive, because I'm sure most of you can recite the words line by line at any given moment. But this song really is quite sort of, I suppose on face value, it is quite literal, you know. Put it on, I can feel so much. Put it on, I don't need to touch. Put it on, here before my eyes. Put it on, because you realize and you believe something so worthless serves a purpose. Makes me a happy man, can't you understand? Say you believe just how easy it is to please me, because when you learn, you'll know what makes the world turn. So it's really the literal sense of the song is, you know, put the dress on, and, you know, I don't need any more than that. But the deeper meaning to this is also, you can be grateful with a lot less in your life. Although I think, you know, this is sort of very geared to the literal side of, you know, this girl putting a blue dress on and she looks so hot. But the hidden meaning in the song really is, you know, you don't need to, you know, you can be grateful with less. And also, I suppose, this man watching this girl get dressed, and he's looking at her, and he's just thinking of his life and all these things that happen and everything he strives for and everything, and his goals and aspirations and everything. But then just watching this moment, that is what makes the world turn. That is what makes the world go round. And indeed, he's saying to her, because when you learn, you'll know what makes the world turn. So this is a really tender, beautiful song. And I can't wait until we break it down and do the album analysis and the piano breakdowns. Clean, clean, the cleanest I've been. Now, this is another song which I said is such a fan favorite. This indeed is one of the songs that if you ask someone, are you a Depeche Mode fan? And they go, yeah. And you go, what's your favorite song? Oh, I love Just Can't Get Enough. And I love Enjoy the Silence. And you go, you're not a fan, fuck off. No disrespect to those songs. But Clean indeed is that song. You go, what do you like? What's your favorite Depeche Mode song? And someone goes, Clean. You go, you're a fan, let's talk. And Clean is that song. In fact, Clean is such a great Depeche Mode fan favorite that a lot of fans will kind of rant that the song is not rated higher. You should be higher. You know, it is just such a great song. And, you know, this song was, you know, listening to this as a young man, this was one of the songs that I didn't skip it because it was right at the end of the album, but it was one of the songs I didn't listen to that much. But over the years, this has become such a, the meaning is so poignant and relatable. Clean, the cleanest I've been, an end to the tears and the in-between years and the troubles I've seen. Whenever I read this or hear this song or read the lyrics to this, I always think of Dave Vaughn and his drug addiction. And, you know, the lyrics of this are more sort of appropriate to his, you know, his later years, sort of like, you know, after he went through his drug addiction and, you know, he died and he came back to life. This song, I haven't heard them perform this song live for a long time, but I do think that this song would probably, I can't speak on behalf of Dave Vaughn, but it would probably be one of his most relatable songs, because this, as I say, it does remind me so much of when, you know, when he went through that drug addiction and then he died and then, and now he's clean. Dave Vaughn is clean. No, he's been off the drugs and booze for probably over close to 25 years now, if not more. So well done, Dave. You know, I'm glad you know, did that, and we still got you around. But, you know, because Dave Vaughn was going down a very, very dark path. But this song, whenever I hear this song, or if I read the lyrics or anyone talks about this, I just think about Dave Vaughn and his drug addiction. And this, the lyrics to this song and everything about the song is just so relevant to Dave Vaughn and his drugged up condition that he was suffering from. Clean, the cleanest I've been, an end to the tears and the in-between years and the troubles I've seen. Now that I'm clean, you know what I mean. That is a current day Dave Vaughn. He's sober. I don't understand what destiny's planned. I've started to grasp what is in my own hands. I don't claim to know where my holiness goes. I just know that I like what he's starting to show. I mean, that could be picking up on, you know, getting into some kind of philosophy or religion and, you're doing the meditation and stuff, and you're saying the mantras and doing the chants, and you don't know where this is going, but you like what he's starting to show. You know, you're doing all the mantras, and you're eating healthy, and you're doing everything right, and you don't know where it's going, but you feel better sometimes. And then I always found that word sometimes, that's quite cynical, because that's almost like the devil coming back on your shoulder going, sometimes. It's like, come back in, you know. So that means you're clean and you're trying to change your ways, but you've still got that devil on your shoulder going, sometimes, you know, you could always fall and, you know, go down a dark path again. As years go by, all the feelings inside twist and they turn as they ride with the tide. I don't advise and I don't criticize. I just know what I like with my own eyes sometimes. So he's quite righteous and he's quite virtuous now. But then sometimes there's that, he's questioning it, and he's thinking, you know, he could quite easily fall and go down that dark path once again. I do love this line. I don't understand what destiny's planned. I'm starting to grasp what is in my own hands. I don't claim to know where my holiness goes, but I just know that I like what he's starting to show. This is a very, very, very powerful song, and it's a song I often overlooked when I was younger. To me, Clean is Dave Gaughan's story. I mean, this is the song. If Dave Gaughan was going to be telling you his life now, he would just read you the lyrics to Clean. And Dave always said he feels that Martin writes for him. And this is why, you know, it's always worked so well, because it's almost like, yeah, people often ask Martin, do you write for Dave? And he's like, well, no. Dave just happens to interpret what Martin writes, and, you know, it resonates with him. So one of the many reasons why this band fucking rocks big time. My friends, was that a long video? They usually are. That was longer than I thought it was going to be, but hey man, this is how we flow here. So I want you to leave your links and comments in the description below. Let me know what you think of the lyrics. Anything you want to say about the lyrics here. Anything you want to say about any song I've spoken about here. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please, let's start the discussion. Any new insight you want to add to this? In fact, if you are on Facebook, then you should join the Vaughn George Facebook group. I set that up a couple of years ago, and the reason for that was we needed a forum place where we could discuss the videos that I talk about on this channel, because it's quite difficult to discuss them in the comments below. So what you should do is go onto Facebook and request to join the group, and my admins will grant you access. It's a great community to be in, and a great place to meet like-minded fellow Depeche Mode fans who are on the same trip as we all are. If you want a deeper level of content, you can join my Patreon community. I'm just about to release an album walkthrough this week, where I'm going to be listening to Violator and discussing it as I'm listening to it in real time, and, you know, do like an album review as I'm listening to it in real time while having a drink, of course. So join me in there. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, my dear friends. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for your support. And make sure you stay tuned to this channel, because part 4 is coming out next week. And in that part, we're going to talk all about the B-sides. Until then, you take care, and I'll see you soon. Adios.